Danganronpa. 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 Danganronpa.
Alrighty, let's do this. I've never played this game, so it's gonna be fun. Ring, ring, ring. What is that sound? I opened my heavy eyes to see an unfamiliar room. Guess I was asleep, but where? This isn't my room. I turned my head to the right to see a small old-fashioned alarm clock on the nightstand. The time read 7:30. In the morning or evening? I reached over to stop the alarm when suddenly I felt a dull pain in the back of my head. I sat up from the bed to rub my eyes and shut off the alarm, and it was then did I really take in the surroundings. The room gave off an ambience of comfort. The lighting was calming against the warm-colored walls. The furniture was devoid of any dust, dirt, and the bed itself was extremely plush and overall rather luxurious room without seeming overly elegant in its design. The only odd thing about it was that there didn't seem to be any windows. There were curtains, but they were drawn open against a wall featuring a single unassuming painting. The room is comfortable enough, but how the earth did I get here? How on the earth did I get here? I closed my eyes, furrowed my brow, think back. Remember who you are and what you were doing last. Ah, that's right. My name is Echo Pine. The last thing I remember is seeing my best friend Ashley off for the day as she went to take care of her horses. Ashley. I wonder if she made it home all right. I admit it was a little less thorough in making sure she made it to her house in that late afternoon, but I'm sure she's all right. I hope. I racked my brain thinking about that evening. Alright, thanks for the lift, and be careful with your ankle. I can't believe you insisted on driving even though it's broken. It's no problem at all. Besides, my ankle's almost done healing. It's no big deal. It's not like I drive with that foot anyways. I'm just worried since I can't walk you to the door. My house is right there. You don't need to worry. I watched as she shut the car door, waved goodbye, and walked across her lawn to her house. Normally, I walk my friends to the door whenever I drop them off in the evening, since you never know what could happen, but my ankle was giving me trouble. So I just left the car in park and watched as Ashley crossed the lawn. Her porch light wasn't on, so as she got closer to the house, she faded into the evening shadows. I'll wait a few more minutes, until I heard her front door close. Click. Okay, time to get home. I shoved the car, drove into the night, but upon passing, I didn't see her living room light turn on. I was worried, but I was certain I heard her front door close. Was I certain, though? I remember clearly driving off, not seeing her living room light turn on, and then... black. Suddenly, a darkness welled up inside me. Am I in this strange, unknown, remote location because I didn't make sure my friend was safe in her home? No, that's absurd. Those two things can't be linked together just because I was less cautious than usual. I looked around the room once more and then realized I didn't have any of my personal possessions on hand or in the room itself. No phone to call Ashley to make sure she's okay. Sure, there was an ancient landline service phone in the room, but who knows where on earth I am. I started to panic. I have to get out of here. I got so caught up in both my head and unprovoked fear that I threw the door open with full force, nearly hitting the person just outside. And that person just so happened to be... Whoa, watch it. Ash? Echo. It's strange. The very friend I thought I suffered a consequence for not making sure they made it home safe was standing right in front of me for some inexplicable reason. You're okay. Ashley Westbridge, a dear old friend of mine. She's what some people would call a horse girl, which seems like a vague thing to call someone who just happens to tend to equines. That's irreverent thought. That irreverent thought aside, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, of course I'm okay. But what about you? You're pale as a ghost. Huh. I just got a little worked up is all. I woke up in this unknown place and I thought it was because I didn't see your lights go on in your house before I drove off. You don't have to worry about such a thing. I made it home to take care of Hyperion all in one piece. I was just a little tired is all, so I went straight to the stables behind the house. Trapped me in a big familiar hug and I immediately felt calm. Thanks, Ash. I shouldn't get so worked up about stuff like that, but sometimes I can't help it. It's nothing, Echo. Besides, I totally understand where you might come from, especially in this scenario. Reminder is, I discussed the situation with Ashley. I told her that I woke up not long ago due to the alarm clock that was provided and her experience was just the same. I don't have anything to note in my room either. I don't have any of my friends. Oh, it's obvious. There aren't any answers to the outskirts of my how do we go here? Where are my things, etc. I strangely feel comfortable here. I think it might be that super plush bed. I'm not gonna lie, I'd really like that back home. We laughed among ourselves and decided to explore what seemed to be some sort of mansion. I still felt uneasy, but thanks to seeing a familiar face, I felt a little safer. I closed my room door behind me, noticing there's a plaque that was adorned with the symbol of my high school. I was further down the hall, various doors and plaques shared the same feature. I spotted Ashley's right away as well. Seemed her room was just adjacent to mine across the hall. Looks like there are other students here as well. Seems that way. Although I haven't ran into anyone yet. Not literally like you, of course. Very funny. The hall interior was very ornate. The dark wood lining, the walls and candles, sconces lighting the path. The dark wood floor was covered with a thick woven rug, and that created a path toward an opening in the hallway. I think I can hear some others down the hall. Ashley took the lead as we curiously walked through the hall, taking in the ambience as we gazed at the miscellaneous paintings of nature that hung on the wall. Sure enough, there were 3 other students having a lively chat in the foyer. Hey, you two, how did you make it? I was wondering how many other students there were around here. You could just count how many doors with plaques there are in the living quarters hallway. Nah, I'm not attentive enough for something like that. I'll just figure it out somehow maybe I'll meet up with. You're awfully carefree, aren't you? Yeah, it's because I have good company with you lovely folks. I took in the atmosphere of the foyer before approaching the 3 students. The main clearing was huge. It featured a shiny white marble floor and 2 spiral staircases on either side of the circular walls. The glass table itself was rather bare, only containing a decorative flower vase and a silver platter that revealed a very polite note. Thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. Please make your welcome official by signing in utilizing the bracelets that have been freely provided. Simply tap the bracelet to the digital kiosk that is located at the foot of the stairs. I lifted my left wrist to see the bracelet in question. It was a simple thing, a rose gold plate with my name on it, strung into a bracelet with a small chain on the same color. I hadn't even noticed it until now. Ashley was admiring hers just as I did. She was already decorated with her own accessories, but the new one didn't seem to disturb her overall look regardless. I looked over the other students' wrists as well. It's all the same thing, albeit presumably with their own names. What is the purpose of these things anyway? I tried to cut the cold silence with a question. Hello there. Have you three already scanned your bracelets? Yes. We all convened here just a few minutes ago. I would recommend you scan your bracelets as well, since it grants access to the rooms after the welcome. Oh well then, don't mind if I do. I went over to the aforementioned surprisingly modern digital kiosk that was blatantly out of place among the more vintage-looking decor. Before scanning, the screen displayed a simple map of the first floor layout. From the looks of it, the foyer connected to 4 locations: living quarters, the dining hall, the study, and the theater. I held up my wrist to the screen and it quickly detected my bracelet, displaying my name and profile of my face, similar to how an ID card would work. However, there wasn't any further information besides my name and birthday. After the verification, there was a welcome screen. Thank you for signing in. You may now roam the first floor freely. Please make yourself comfortable with all the given accommodations. And once again, welcome. The screen went to the original map screen as it was before I scanned my bracelet. I stepped aside to let Ashley sign in as well, and in the meantime, got to introducing myself to the others. Hello there, I'm Echo, and my friend is Ashley Westbrook. Hi, I'm Arturo Papian, but art is just fine. Missy Vesca, and no, Missy is not a nickname for anything. Cananota. Are any of you three in any association with each other? Absolutely not. From the way they directed their voices, Missy and Canon seem to have had it with art from their brief meeting. I see. A friendly bunch, huh? Come on, let's all go to the dining hall. I bet you could use a snack to lighten the mood. I'm in favor of that idea. I'd like to explore the floor as well. Yeah, I wonder who else we're going to run into. Missy walked briskly towards the dining hall, which was just opposite of the living quarters hall, which was where we entered the foyer. Art followed quickly after, just left standing there in the giant cleaner. I'll explore my own space. With a curt and definitive statement, she made her case, stating that she was going to stay put in the foyer. With nothing left to do in the foyer, I went with Ashley to the dining hall. The dining hall was a rather intimate setting, a single long table with a chandelier to light the room. There was a cozy-looking fireplace on the far wall, with painting and ornate pictures hanging on the wall just above it. The table setting bore 16 chairs, 14 on each side, and two on the heads of the table. The table was already decorated with light accessories, candelabra, small vases of flowers, and an encyclopedia about ships. The room itself was connected to a small kitchen, one with the usual kitchen appliances, an oven, refrigerator, a large dishwashing sink, a gas range, and all the utensils and tools one would need. What the fuck are you telling me? Small. This place is super loaded, huh? Art sat at one of the seats and kicked his feet up on the tables as he looked around the room. Missy noticeably shook her head at the reaction. I wonder if no one else has woken up yet. Suddenly, the painting on the fireplace went black, and the television screen changed into what looked like a voice came on over the speakers. It was a slivery and rather modulated. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you have a lovely stay. Feel free to utilize the kitchen to your heart's content. Or, if you're unable to, you may use the automated cook feature by tapping your bracelets onto the kitchen's digital kiosk and selecting a meal. Or if neither of those suit your particular taste, you may consult your group's ultimate level kitchen hand. The screen then went black once more and returned to its initial painting screen. But what did that mean? What's an ultimate level kitchen hand? I turned to ask one of the other students, but it looked like Art already figured it out. Or rather, figured something out. Whatever he started talking about next made no sense to me. Oh, I get it. This is the safe house the government provided for us since we signed up for the preservation project. You signed up to be here? Yeah, of course. If I guessed correctly, we all seem to be ultimate students. Yes, that seems to be the case. What's an ultimate student? Don't tell me you don't know. Oh man, what are you even doing here? Ultimate students are typically high school students that are super excelled in their field of expertise. They're often scouted by groups with various intentions, virtuous or nefarious. So you're saying everyone here is super talented? You're kidding, right? You've been walking around this whole time with Ashley Westbridge, the ultimate jockey, and you didn't even know? I really don't talk about my talent outside of work. Honestly, I just thought you were a typical horse girl. I don't know whether to find that humbling or insulting to my talent. So Ashley holds up the title of Ultimate Jockey. I'm curious to know what that implies. I never knew her to be particularly eccentric when it came to her lifestyle at the stables. For how long during our friendship did she have that title? I'll have to ask her later. For now, I'll just learn about the other students here. Let's ask Missy. What those individual groups or institutions do with the students is beyond me. I've not heard many stories of success or failure from anyone who's had the luxury of being accepted. In any case, don't take much stock in the title is all I'm saying. I have to admit though, I'm rather curious of the titles now that you brought it up. So be it. I'm the ultimate tactician. Tactician like battle tactics? No, more like political campaign tactics and strategies. The less interesting of the two people usually think of. I've been at the forefront of numerous political campaigns and battles, many of which I've been employed to strategize against by opposing forces. Really, aren't you basically manipulating the winner's outcome then? The choice is not mine but the people's. I simply put the message out, framing it in the most self-beneficial way possible for each side. I think political campaigns can be interesting, but wouldn't ultimate campaign manager be a more appropriate title? Well, I'm not the one who came up with the title. I see. This seems very self-assured person who doesn't seem to care much for the extravagance of an ultimate title implies. Your name's Art, right? May I ask what your talent is? Sure, I'm the ultimate golfer. I never miss my mark. Total holes in one all day, every day. Wow, how'd you manage that? I don't know. I can't stand having to put more energy into extra strokes, so I make the first and last one count. What kind of reasoning is that to become a pro golfer? That's an interesting way to go about it. I can't even imagine being able to control the club like that. It took a lot of practice for sure. I've had to fail a lot to get where I am, and I'm stronger for it. Admirable. Explore other locations, find about other student talent. The study hall is rather small, but filled with the ceiling with encyclopedias covering all kinds of subjects, ranging from medical to athletic. There's a small office corner for those who study any of the books provided. Another digital kiosk stood to the side, showing unsearchable list of books in the study. There are 2 students occupying the space, a meek-looking student hiding in the corner, and a green-haired looking at the book selection. Oh wow, there's a huge book on equestrian equipment. I knew you'd be excited about that. What? Now that you know I'm the ultimate jockey, it all makes sense. No, you're still the same old horse girl I know, but with a fancy title. I approached a meek student standing in one of the darker corners of the study. Hey there. Beep. Oh, sorry to spook you. I was just going around meeting everyone. I'm Echo Pine. I was dragged out of my room by that guy over there. He's evil. Peered over the aforementioned person who just looked to be calmly inspecting a row of books. Fine. He didn't drag me out. I ran into him when I was trying to find the study. Now I have to share this room with someone. Can you tell me about yourself? Me, I'm Sei Kono. I'm a watchmaker. Would you by chance be called the ultimate watchmaker? I guess you could say that. I just tinker with watches and stuff. They go for really high prices apparently, but I don't particularly care for the money. Someone once offered me 3 luxury cars for a single watch. I can't even drive. She climbed up and artfully turned back around to face the bookshelf corner. I didn't want to pry, so I just left her alone. A tall figure stands gazing at the selection of books. It's rather comfortable here, is it not? You should spend days in the well-kept study learning about whatever your heart desires. There isn't any sign of dust settling, so it might be tended to very often. Definitely. They knew what they were doing when it comes to accommodation. I see. You're aware of the preservation project situation. Yeah, I suppose. But if I'm being honest, I'm not sure I know what my talent is, since I guess the preservation thing seems to revolve around it. I see. I don't know that being aware of your talent is a requirement at all. You might have some innate skills that you personally think are average. You think so? I feel pretty ordinary. I've never really been the center of mass attention for anything in particular. I wouldn't worry about it. Whatever underlying passion or talent you have is for you and you alone to enjoy. That's reassuring. I feel like I've stumbled into something out of my league with so many skilled students. If you don't mind my asking, what's your ultimate talent? It's hard to describe. I'm called the ultimate charisma Cyrus Cyric, by the way. I kind of like this art style. It's drawn on. I don't really understand the implication of that title, but I can certainly feel it from how approachable this is. Now, let's explore the next location. Very linear. Ashley and I walked across the hallway once again to our next location, the theater. The theater was something to behold. Although it was fairly intimate, scenes with few rows, seats with a medium-sized stage, and had an air of elegance thanks to the decor, the curtains were a rich red velvet with the thick gold tassels holding the very curtains open. The stage itself was occupied by 3 students who seemed to be having a heated discussion. You really want to stand by that theory? Hey, to each their own. I'm not knocking you for thinking the obvious. Let's settle down, please. Absolutely not. I have no intention of changing my view for this scoundrel. Scoundrel? That's cold. Especially to a stranger. You two don't need to get so heated about something like this. It's an important matter between 2 strongly opinionated people. So we agree on the matter. Maybe I should cut in? What's going on here? The three turned around surprised, presumably from not being able to see me at the stage. Need to ask such a foolish question? We are discussing the dire and apparently questionable existence of this. The white-haired student crouched down to reveal a painting that was turned away from the audience. Ink blot art. Oh, I see. You're trying to figure out what the painting is. Yes, and what do you see? I stared at it for a moment and looked at the two feet. I'll have to think about it. No immediate answer. I felt his judging eyes pierce my soul. It's a dog. Not everything has to be a dog. It's clearly an elephant. So, just a different four-legged animal, you mean? I'll just try to talk to them individually. The girl who was caught in the middle of the quarrel stepped down from the stage and left the other two to glare at each other in silence. Pandora Esther, nice to meet you. Likewise, I'm Echo. Echo? Was that just me, or did she chuckle at my name? Actually seemed to have not noticed, or actually seemed to have noticed a quiet laugh. She paused briefly before introducing herself, as if to process the same small laugh. What the? Am I missing something? So I was informed that this little group of students is composed of students that have ultimate talents. Do you happen to have a title of some sort? Oh yes, I'm known as the Ultimate Baker. And yourself? To be honest about that, I don't seem to know. I don't think I have one, if I'm being honest. Well, that's no matter. It doesn't make you any more or less of a person. So what do you think the thing is? I'm not really sure either, but for some reason, as ambiguous as that, it can be whatever the viewer wants it to be, right? I suppose so. Pandora, she's such a gentle soul. I approached a student wearing the fur-lined jacket. So, about the painting, I think I do see the dog. No need to lie, I don't particularly care either way. I don't actually know what it is either, so I just made something up. I started to stare at the painting a little longer, and the more I looked at it, the more I willed it into being what Lyle said it was, even if it was a made-up thing. Isn't that a little cruel? I just wanted him to explain himself, but he wouldn't. Ultimate title, or I can't remember. Student muttering under his breath about my last payment, but I paid. Yeah, okay. So I just have one issue with what I've seen so far. I love it so far. But this motherfucker seemed to know Lyle's name before he actually was introduced to Lyle. Or kind of the ultimate puzzle master, a connoisseur of the word puzzles, block puzzles, and escape room puzzles galore. No need to feign understanding. I'm quite self-assured that the painter's intention was to illustrate an elephant that's attractive to the painter. Okay, and now it did the same thing. It hasn't introduced itself, but now we already know his name. Or it's like the character already knew his name. Of course not. I'm the ultimate opera singer, not the ultimate artist. Although you know, as they say, the artist is dead, so my interpretation is just as valid, since interpreting it is an art form as well. Yeah. I mean, the name is funny. Or the name works out. But they should have just not put the name in there when they're talking about it. stop bringing it up. Being an ultimate level jockey and fly. Does that mean you win a lot? Oh, come on, Echo. I don't want to bore you with the superficial numbers. I'll just say my win percentage is 44 and my top 3 percentage is 84. I don't even know what those numbers are supposed to mean. Anyways, I'm not just a horse girl. I have other pets too. Yeah, like your cat Apples. Of course you remember Apples. How could I not? She clawed up all my school bags. Ooh, maybe we get to meet more people. It is now 9 a.m. The second floor amenities are now open and will stay open until 5 p.m. The second floor. After the announcement, we saw some students filter out of their first floor rooms and into the hall. Oh, Ashley, Echo, would you like to come to the second floor with me? Sure. I was wondering about that as well. By the way, did you get anything to eat from the dining hall? Oh no, I was a little distracted by the whole ultimate students thing. I made some croissants earlier. Here, help yourself. We're just a small rat pack, so Ashley and I took one each and bit into the flaky buttery bread. Wow, this is incredible. Actually, I have some bacon for you. See that it's nothing at all. I really enjoy bacon. Welcome people's faces when they eat something delectable, warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you eat your favorite food. Such a feeling is priceless. Pandora was right. After biting into the croissant, I felt an intense nostalgia for my younger days when I was more carefree. How are the ultimate baker's delicacies, the warmth and sense of familiarity? What a wonderful thing. But it seems she didn't stay put in the foyer. I went into the dining hall and the theater, but Forte and Lyle really kept me from going anywhere else with their argument, honestly. Ashley and I followed suit, and we were met with another digital kiosk at the top of the staircase. Students played another map, this time the second floor location, atrium, spa lounge, climbing center, and jazz club. What kind of mansion has a climbing center in it? Maybe the owner is an eccentric rock climber? I think it's to cater to the unique talents of various students. It's likely since the kitchen and storehouse on the first floor. If I really wanted to, I could make my own dough here. I can imagine other ultimate cooks would be pleased with these selections as well. That's a good point. There's a theater here after all. Forte and the other ultimate performers probably could utilize the room as a place for further to hone their skills. Preservation techniques. They really do know how to accommodate intensity in this. The group has the ability to provide such a vast selection of students. Where to first? Curious about the climbing center. This mansion must be huge if it can house something exciting like that there. I'd like to see the spa lounge. It must be a lovely relaxing place. We should try. Quickly, isn't it? Climbing center was a unique place. Colorful. Colorful artificial rock walls line the interior of the room, as well as created some odd columns in the center. The walls reached upwards of what looked to be 3 stories high towards a bright, natural lit ceiling. Off to the side was outside with a preparation locker full of ropes and harnesses, as well as a small vending machine full of energy drinks and water bottles. Whoa, people actually do this kind of stuff? Approach the wall with one of the artificial rocks and look at how flowers people put on their hands. It is certainly full of interesting people. They will also approach one of the walls and inspect the many artificial rocks lining the wall. Yeah, really massive, but not in this sense. I couldn't possibly have the stamina for something like bouldering, nor do I have the good tolerance for heights. How did you two discover your talents anyway? I was raised on the countryside on a farm, so it probably came to me like second nature. As a child, I was going to the racetrack with my father. It was just honestly another thing. And they completely let me ride the horses myself. I was in love with the exhilarating competition at that time. My parents still told me mother. One a teacher and one to pay with the faith. They taught me everything. I also cherished the enjoyment people felt when tasting my baked goods. Eventually, I too felt a love for the task at hand. Well, you two are incredible. Echo, you're an incredible person too. Don't let labels deter you from speaking to us as if anything but your peers. They were so humble when they're talking about their ultimate talents. I wonder if I could ever measure up. With that brief heart-to-heart, we set off to visit the spa lounge. The spa lounge was a serene open room. There was a pool in the center of the room with a ring of comfortable-looking massage chairs around it. Overall, it was decorated with a relaxed ambience and mood. Plants and small waterwork statues accessorized the area for a natural feel. Sat one of the lounge chairs, stretching her arms above her head, or relaxing her hands on the lap. But now that I think about it, facilities like this may be self-run by the regarding students? And Daryl brought up a good point. The kitchen offered fully automated meals, but they still offered the option of having the students utilize the kitchen and tools. It was likely that the massage chairs were automated as well. To feel the full experience of an ultimate massage therapist would excel. If you consider my talents in art, there might be a racetrack or golf course outside my refined ambience to it. I imagine it was an incredibly lively and high energy place when there were performances. There were table settings occupying the majority of the spaces, with a small stage in the middle for the performers. The music venue itself was stocked with all sorts of sound equipment and instruments of various sizes. Mar had shelves upon shelves of alcoholic beverages locked behind a sturdy glass. Pretty class atmosphere, huh? I wonder how many ultimate talents have toured this room for performances. I'm sure it's so being no surprise to feel comfortable. I could be some kind of ultimate jazz performer or ultimate bartender. Have you ever handled an instrument before or mixed beverages? No, but who knows? If I pick something up, I'll suddenly be stricken with the ultimate talent revelation and play like a pro. Cyrus said maybe it's an innate trait waiting to be discovered. It occurred to me that perhaps these rooms aren't just for students with existing skills, but also as sandbox for budding talent. Why not? I'd like to see the moment that the talent has been realized. The reason they supported my odd idea, that's a strange compliment. this cello. Go for it. Pandora gleefully cheered me on as I gripped the bow. Ooh, this is probably not gonna be. Let me see if it actually has a sound for this. And then squeak. Oh, well, they kind of just stopped the music. It's good enough, I guess. The sound I created tore through the air like a giant rubber duck was being stepped on. Oh, this is awful. I saw Ashley and Pandora flinch from the sound, but they still put on a brave face for my sake. I chuckled nervously and gently placed my instrument back where it originally was. Oh, poor guy. I guess this isn't it, huh? I wobbled over from the stage. The others were sitting at and plopped down warily. I was beyond embarrassed. Don't despair. You just haven't found it yet. Yeah, Echo. It's not like anyone can handle an instrument. I mean, I thought that thing was supposed to be played like a giant guitar. I'm surprised you even knew how to approach holding it. I've seen performers perform before, so I just imitated what I saw. Oh, that makes sense. Pandora held my hand with a firm grasp. Listen, we're gonna find out what your talent is. If we have to play 100 instruments poorly, at least we'll know we're one step closer to finding that possibility. Pandora reassured me and actually gave me a warm smile. Thanks, you two. Come on, let's keep exploring. We left the jazz club. It seemed like the room was soundproof since we were only playing an unperturbed Cyrus and Lyle in the hallway just outside. Let's keep exploring. Hey, what the fuck? Okay. Hello there. Having a fulfilling time exploring? Yeah, totally. What's up with you? Don't tell me you're trying to get a drink from behind the bar. Wow, please. Echo wasn't like that. I'm well aware of the alcohol consumption age, thank you very much. The sound of ringing and a voice rang the speakers. Your attention, please. All students assemble in the second floor atrium for a special welcome ceremony. The five of us glanced at each other and silently agreed to follow suit. Alright, I might want to have my sound over this. Oh, yep. Okay, it is loud. Switch that down a little bit. The ceiling to the floor we were currently on bore a large hole that allowed the skylight to pour in, as well as allowed greenery growing in the center to reach 2 floors up. On the ground level of it all were groups of seating and plant life meant for people in passing to relax. There was a bronze globe hanging in the center of the garden that added an extra luxurious feel among the nature. Light and warmth flooded my body, filling me with serenity. Whoa! A light voice cut through the air, disturbing that serenity. Check this place out. Dang! Wouldn't it be awesome if they had a mini golf set up in here? How cute would that be? Plenty cute. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Art and Missy entered the atrium from the foyer staircase entrance. I was surprised to see her still hanging out with Art, with the timid Say trailing behind them. Trailing behind them. Playing again. I saw all the students I had previously met, but afterwards, no one else came. This is a special announcement indicating the welcome of all present students. Arts, Pandora, Say, Canon, Forte, Cyrus, Lyle, Missy. There were 10 of us, including myself. Kind of a tiny class, huh? Art whispered the same observation I made. It was true that our class was rather small, but were we really going to be doing any learning here? The hanging globe projected a screen with the same emblem from the dining room hall. A voice came overhead speakers. The Preservation Project Group would like to humbly welcome all of you to your provided safe house. As you might be aware, there have been earth-shattering quakes tearing through the planet. Earth-shattering quakes? This is the first I've heard of it. I peered at the other students who were nodding as if they'd already been informed of this. Maybe I wasn't in a dangerous area? As ultimate students, we've provided you with the best amenities and environments to most efficiently cultivate your skills and talents in utter safety. You may utilize the facilities to the fullest extent during the requisite hours. However, do not think of this simply as a safe house. This location is more than equipped for you to thoroughly indulge yourself with exquisite experiences. The students murmured in excitement at the prospect. Please do not hesitate to think of this as a sort of vacation away from it all. Awesome! Art audibly pumped his fist into the air. Although no one else displayed such a loud presentation of excitement, the other students were vividly talking amongst themselves regardless. The projection cut out and the announcement concluded. The students began to wander off again, likely to try out what the climbing center and spa lounge had to offer. Everyone seemed to be breaking into their own groups while I stood still. Okay, so you could choose one path or the other. You can't always use one. I was excited, but a feeling of uncertainty stirred the depths of my mind, suffocating that excitement. Do I belong here? As far as I know, I'm not an ultimate student. No intense talents, no masterful skills, not even interesting experiences. I started to feel sick with anxiety. I understand that. Hey Echo, I'm going to the spa with Pandora. Would you like to join us? No thanks. You two go ahead. I'm actually feeling a little tired from all the running around. I think I'll just take a nap. Ashley looked at me with silent, understanding eyes. Alright then. If you change your mind, you know where to find us. She gave me another quick hug before pairing off with Pandora. Ash, why didn't you tell me about your talent? I drudged down the stairs back to the first floor foyer. There I saw Cannon in almost the same position she was in when I first met her. She didn't tell me she had an ultimate title when we first introduced ourselves. Perhaps she doesn't have one either? I thought about approaching to ask her, but my throat felt dry. I didn't feel like being disappointed in case she did have an ultimate talent. I quickly turned the corner before Cannon could even notice me when I heard the sound of a shutter clicking. I turned around to see Cannon developing a picture from an old camera. How do you have a camera? What do you mean how? I just thought we would disallow personal possessions. I didn't have anything in my room when I asked Ash. She said she didn't have anything in her room either. I'm an ultimate photographer. I need my tools, don't I? Canon Ota, ultimate photographer. Photographer. Then that picture you just took. She silently handed me the developed photo. It was a picture of my back as I was leaving to avoid speaking to her. I thought she hadn't noticed me. I know what you're thinking. It's a horrible picture of you. I know it is. To the average person, anyway. Confused, I stared at the photo longer. I'm not a portrait photographer. I specialize in a composition form called Rickenfigure, which literally translates to back figure. Yep. Rickenfigure, I should probably say. Handed the photo back to her. That's interesting. Cannon silently took the photo and stuck it in her pocket before occupying herself with her camera once more. I admit I didn't try to. I admit I didn't try to sound very enthused. In truth, I wasn't. Canon did have an ultimate talent after all. If that's the case, what am I doing here? My heart and mind were racing. Am I just an anomaly? Was this all a mistake? Did I accidentally take the spot an actual ultimate student was meant to take? No way. My voice croaked in desperation. The lavish mansion was meant to protect ultimate students. Those students and their wide-reaching, influential skills. Those students whose charismatic aura reassured my averageness. Those students who were dexterous masters of their craft. Those who created nostalgia-inducing delights. And those who won races upon races with pure skill. I couldn't take it anymore. I can't. I can't. I can't. What's wrong with you? You're shaking. I barely heard Cannon. I leapt from the front door. I needed to evacuate myself from the overbearing presence of the people who accomplished the near impossible feats with such a young age. I was just such an insignificant bug who wandered into a lion's den. I don't belong here. I grasped the door so tightly, I saw my knuckles turn white. But soon... I only saw black. I warily opened my eyes. I was in bed, back in my personal room, or so I thought. Oh, you're awake. I was in Forte's room. Forte was sitting in a love seat in the corner of his room, combing over what looked like sheets of music before he approached me and offered some water. I graciously accepted the cup and gathered my thoughts. My right hand was tingling. After gaining composure, I managed to croak out a question. Forte, what happened? Curious. That's what I would like to know. What do you mean? Well, after the welcome announcement, I inspected the jazz club, but was quickly uninterested in the venue. I went downstairs to retreat to my personal quarters for the afternoon, but was promptly stopped at the foot of the stairs by Cannon. She said you'd collapse at the door of the foyer's front. Collapse at the foot of the foyer's front door. Cannon told me to keep an eye on you and quickly left. I scoffed. How considerate of her to have someone else take care of me. But why you collapsed, she didn't say. It came back to me. I wasn't behaving clearly. Yeah, I remember now. I was talking to Cannon in the foyer, but I felt a need to escape and was electrocuted when I grabbed the foyer door handle. Electrocuted? Forte was appalled. I, on the other hand, felt nothing. I took another sip of water, closed my eyes. I felt wildly fatigued. Forte looked at me with a concerned silence for a minute. Echo, it may not be my place to say, but you shouldn't feel a need to escape. We're all being generously treated with a safe location to relax in, away from danger. No, you don't understand. I don't have an ultimate talent like the rest of you. My head drooped in shame, regret, humiliation. I don't have any skills or talents to offer the world. He fell silent again. Be that as it may, you are still a peer who shouldn't feel outcast from the rest of the group. You must be with us for a reason. I gazed into the water cup blankly. Come. The rest of the group is in the dining hall. I believe they are just starting dinner. Forte placed a firm hand on my shoulder before offering me his hand to help me out of bed. I complied quietly. The dining hall was fully occupied by our small class. Oh, well, my ship just crashed. I'm gonna make sure that nothing we're trying to happen. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. The dining hall was fully occupied by our small class. Hey, there you are. Art waved at me from the end of the table as I entered the dining hall, causing everyone's head to turn. Ash and Pandora quickly ran to my side. What happened to you? Are you okay? Folks, please allow Echo to have a seat before bombarding any questions. The rest of the class paused their dinner as I was helped into my seat by Ashley. Cannon wasn't at the table, rather she was standing next to the entryway. She must have noticed me looking at her and turned away once more. Before I could confront her about what happened in the foyer, Missy placed a pork cutlet meal before me. Ashley wouldn't stop fretting in concerns to your well-being, so I took the liberty of getting a meal ready for you whenever you decided to come down. This is just what I needed. How did you know? I didn't. Perhaps I was lucky. Missy shrugged indifferently, but I saw her mouth turn a small grin. She seemed satisfied with having pleased me. I gave her a small smile back and helped myself to a small portion to regain my energy. We all had dinner together, with conversations lightly touching on everyone's mutual awareness of the preservation project. It was a project in which ultimate students who signed up would be placed under protective custody to preserve their skills to benefit the future. I, of course, wasn't aware. Most all had similar stories of discovering their talents individually growing up in an environment where all they knew was that particular skill. Yet, they still rose to super excel beyond the world's wildest expectations. My mind went blank with white noise whenever the topic of ultimate talents came up. As we all finished our meal, Cyrus offered to pick up the dishes as everyone else restlessly waited for whatever happened to me. Echo, you have no idea how worried I was. Ashley was holding my hand lightly. Ash, if you're feeling up to it, would you mind talking about what happened? I glanced to Cannon over in the entryway. Her face was an iron mask. Well, I was feeling tired from running around the mansion exploring, so after the welcome announcement in the second floor atrium, I decided to go back to my personal room for a nap. Going down to the foyer, I was curious about the front door. I wanted to go outside, so naturally I grabbed the door handle, but was electrocuted by it. Forte found me collapsed and carried me back into his room to rest. You were electrocuted by the door handle? Perhaps we should investigate. And get electrocuted ourselves? Of course not. I simply want to inspect the door handle for any suspicious mechanisms. We should also check the floor mats again and see if there are any similar exits outside. And what would this accomplish? It would ensure our safety so that nothing like this happens again. But our safety as ultimate students in the Preservation Project safe house has already been compromised by the existence of such a trap. The group fell silent. Cyrus was right. It seems we've already fell into some kind of trap the moment we arrived. So we're just gonna do nothing. Cannon's indifferent voice broke the silence. Cannon's right. We shouldn't sit idly by after our friend Echo was put in danger. We ought to investigate, if not as an insurance measure, but to get to the bottom of the trap that caused him such harm. The group agreed and went their separate ways to search for clues. Before anyone could get very far, an announcement cut in. It is now 9 p.m. Or actually, it's probably It is now 9 p.m. All main room lights will go out at 10 p.m. for nighttime. Facilities will be closed until the next morning. It seems like we'll just have to suspend the investigation until tomorrow. There's no use wandering around aimlessly in the dark. Sounds like a plan. We shall meet here tomorrow morning for breakfast and discussion. The group said their good nights and the discussion wrapped for the evening. Ashley stopped me back in the dining hall as the rest of the group left. Look, Echo, I'm sorry you felt hurt that I didn't tell you about my talent. How did you know? I'm your best friend, aren't I? I can tell when you're distraught. It was after that special welcome announcement, I noticed that you were off. It must have been difficult feeling like you don't belong. I admit, it's all been awfully overwhelming. I never meant to keep it from you, it's just, I feel like being involved with me could only ever cause trouble. Not the horse racing aspect, but the ultimate student status aspect. To get tied up with such intense people could only amount to ultimate levels of trouble. Ash, you know I'm your friend through and through. I don't think being friends with Ashley Westbridge, Horse Girl, is any trouble at all. I love you, Echo. You really are a good friend. Ooh, friend zone. Of course, I love you too. We made our way back to the living quarters main hall and said our goodnight. Before entering my room, I saw Art and Lyle lingering in the halls. Hey, you two, what's up? We're having a strategy meeting. Oh, that's not his voice. We're having a strategy meeting. Strategy meeting? Art asked me if our being locked in a mansion situation is a big puzzle. Think about it. Escape rooms exist, so maybe the mansion's just one giant escape room. I admit, it's not impossible, and it sounds interesting. Right? What do you think, though? I'm not sure yet. I have a feeling it's just some convoluted ARG theme. Huh? Alternate reality game. It's a type of game that's interacted with through different media experiences, whether it be online or in real life. Tasks range from decrypting audio logs on a website to doing some odd like cleaning up local cemeteries. It seems plausible to fuse an electrocuting door could be added to the list of tasks, huh? Well, they're typically employed to the public to boost attention for a product. If it's an ARG, there must be a puppet master that's setting these things up, much like an escape room game master. An escape room and ARG sound pretty similar in terms of involvement in puzzle solving. I suppose they're not entirely different entities. Lyle, you're such a smart guy. Puzzles are my strong suit. I said goodnight and left Art and Lyle to conclude the strategy meeting as I returned to my personal room. So much happened today. I felt mental and physical exhaustion hit me all at once as I let myself collapse onto my bed. Kaplop. To think I'd be stuck in a luxury mansion with super talented students. My life before this moment had hardly been as eventful as this single day. I lived a rather average life with little trouble one could hope for. It was almost utopian in a sense. I never thought it boring or repetitive. It was my immaterial life that caused me to be a little more worrisome than other people, than any other person, likely as a will to keep everything the same for going forward. However, the strange situation has thrown me into a state of disarray. I was out of my element. I need to get some proper rest. The room was mysteriously fixed with a few sets of my clothing and a small personal bathroom. I let my body relax as I took a warm shower before heading off to bed. Tomorrow, what will we discover? Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Is that it for the prologue? And then it starts over. Oh, wait. So the events of... Oh, never mind. So the events of yesterday weren't some kind of dream. My personal room that I initially thought was felt oppressive. It wasn't mine. It couldn't be, since this mansion we're in was for ultimate students. I was reminded of my mediocrity and let my head fall back on the pillow. I don't want to see anyone. I heard Ashley's voice through the door. Good morning, Echo. Just coming to check on you. I'll be right out. After getting properly dressed, I met Ashley outside my door. Oh, Jesus, that's a loud sound upstairs. Good morning, Hash. We walked casually down the hall to the foyer. Did you sleep all right last night? Yeah, I slept all right, considering. I hope you're not feeling down about the whole situation. I'm still coming to terms with it, but I'm feeling a little better after getting rest. That's good to hear. You've always been good at bouncing back. I'm not a morning person. Me neither, but I'm really curious about that door. Door seems scary. Good morning, Say and Lyle. Good morning. Let's investigate to the best of our ability. You seem better, Echo. Nothing a good night's rest can't take care of. True that. Good morning. The dining hall, the warm aroma of fresh bread wafted through the room. Good morning, you two. Pandora, have you been baking by yourself this whole time? Of course. I had to get an early start if I wanted to treat you all to some treats to begin the morning. She placed the basket filled to the brim with freshly baked delicacies in the center of the table. The smell alone made me feel intense nostalgic emotion. I sat at the dining table and waited patiently for the rest of the class to arrive. The rest of the class flittered in. Stuff ourselves and the bread and beverages provided by an automated menu as Missy began the discussion. Good morning, all. I trust you had a good night's rest. Our topic this morning consists primarily of the problematic nature of the foyer's front door. We will also be investigating the rest of the mansion for any other exits that might have similar mechanisms keeping us from going outside. You may split into groups or investigate as individuals, but if you find anything at all, please utilize the digital kiosk found in the room you're in to relay a message. Relay a message? The digital kiosk can do that? Yes. I discovered it with Cyrus before we retired to our rooms last night. As it turns out, the digital screens are not just for displaying maps or the specified function it provides in its resident's home. It functions as a remote messaging system between all the digital kiosks in the mansion. For example, it can be used to communicate between the first floor to the second floor. We can assume further floors as we gain access to them. It's not a rudimentary feature, though. One would scan their bracelet on all the screens across the mansion to unlock the feature and type using the on-screen keyboard. You cannot send to specific recipients. However, once you complete it and sent the message, it will show up on the screen for about 2 minutes before deleting itself. For the most part, the messaging system is used to translate the voice announcement to text for those who are hard of hearing. This mansion is truly all-encompassing in its endeavors to accommodate all. And that's precisely why we must investigate the reason the mansion itself would cause its residents harm. The group unanimously agreed. The meeting concluded as we finished breakfast. Everyone decided to split up and search one room themselves. I understand how loyal person. Hey Echo, would you mind coming with me to investigate the foyer? Why me? Because you were the one who experienced the shock firsthand. I was wondering if we could go back and retrace your steps to find clues along the way. guess we could, but in all honesty, there's not a lot to retrace, I don't think. We'll see about that, won't we? I don't like where this bitch is going. Fuck this dude. In the foyer, Missy was already doing her own investigating, intensely staring at the walls. So, what exactly were you doing yesterday? I thought carefully about it, and I was going to say, I didn't want to tell anyone that I had been worrying about not having a talent in the first place. I thought I'd be outcast if others knew. Well, after the welcome ceremony, or announcement, whatever, I was feeling a little tired from running around earlier in the day, so I wanted to go back downstairs to my personal room. And, like I said, dinner last night in passing, I was curious about the door and wanted to go outside. Is that so absurd a reason to want to reach the door? Whoa, no need to get defensive. I was just wondering if you saw anything suspicious along the way. Suspicious. Kenny immediately came to mind. Forte said that she just left me collapsed for him to do. I can't really think of anything at the moment. I guess I'll have to dig a little deeper into the scene of the crime. Thanks, Echo. I'll investigate on my own from here. I don't know that I helped all that much, but you're welcome. Lyle went over to the door and inspected the surroundings, carefully touching the walls for any hidden mechanisms. I guess I'll leave it to him. Let's go see Forte to see if he can glean any information about Cannon's disappearance. Locating Forte was rather easy. Forte was in the theater, inspecting the backstage area. Hello, Echo. Doing well, I hope. A little worried about the electrocuting door, but fine nonetheless. But I really wanted to ask you about yesterday. I thought you might want to know more. However, the truth is as so. What I told you yesterday is all the information I have. I see, but can you tell me if you noticed anything odd? Other than Cannon fleeing the scene, I can't particularly think of anything to note. I'm sorry, Echo. I know it's a dire situation, but honestly, I'm not really good at this sort of thing. I suppose there was a price in the fact that Cannon went upstairs to the second floor right away, but I don't know how useful that would be. Well, thanks, Forte. That's the little thing. Doesn't it? Bravo for figuring something out. I made my way through the foyer, past an intensely focused Lyle and Missy, and made up the stairs to the second floor. At the top of the stairs, I saw a digital kiosk light up, displaying a message on the screen. Arturo says, "Hi." Says, "Hi, Kwame, that's her." Well, it's working. I paid no further attention to the message and continued on. Where should she be? The only place I could think of was the atrium. Photographer, yeah, that'd be a good place. Upon entering the atrium, I saw her sitting on the chair in the middle of the ground floor underneath the brown globe. Cannon! But before I could confront her again, a ringing began playing. It is now 9 a.m. of the second day. You know what, I'm just going to do the voice as this. Please make your way to the second floor atrium for a special announcement. What now? The few students that were already on the second floor made their way over to the made their way over quickly. Ashley, Art, and Cyrus. Hey, did y'all see my message? Yes. Hello, right back to you. Cool, it works. Well, at least we discovered something from our investigating. The rest of the students came up from downstairs. Lyle, Missy, Forte, and Say, and Pandora. Now, what could this be? Maybe some third floor opened up? Whatever it is, can't they just use the message system thing instead of making us walk all the way up here? With all the students gathered in the atrium, once again, the bronze globe projected an emblem. But this emblem was different. And the voice that announcement was different. Welcome, welcome. Whoopsies. Well, it's 9 o'clock. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. And I hope you've been enjoying your special vacation away from it all. This voice was more high energy, like some sort of radio host or sports announcer. Okay, I'm gonna try to do my best for radio. I'm gonna see if there's any special music with this, nope, there's no music. Okay. This is an extra special announcement for the students with us today. You've been cordially invited to play a heart-pounding, soul-searching, excitement-inducing game. A game? That's right, a game, and not just any game. This is beyond the universal, glamorously popular game that many students like yourself get the privilege to play. Why, yes, it's the killing game. Killing game? Upon hearing those words, I saw the other students' faces go into shock. The killing game. A game of hope and despair. A game of allies and betrayal. A game of cause and consequence. Ah, so thrilling. Yes, indeed, you are all gathered here today by your own volition. To sign up for the Preservation Project is to sign yourself to the exclusive game of life and death itself. What the hell is happening? My cry was futile. The announcement was completely automated, and the horrible thing it was saying didn't stop. You may not leave the premises, as some of you might have discovered already, from a little zip-zap experiment. But why would you want to? Inside, we have all sorts of lovely, accommodating amenities. Spend a luxurious lifetime in these wonderful walls. Oh wait, sorry! You can only live here for 7 days. Oops, I totally forgot. If you'd like to leave earlier, then follow the rules previously stated. All you need to do is kill a fellow student without getting caught. How unbelievably simple. If you kill without getting caught, the ultimate prize, an amazing prize befitting the ultimate student, awaits the victor. I know. It's a lot of information to take in at once. We will allow you to absorb this information for the remainder of the day. So relax in the spa lounge, go climbing. But tomorrow, the real fun will begin. The announcement ended on one final disgusting note before cutting out. The class was in absolute shock. No, wait, it can't be. What is this? A sick, twisted joke. That's what this is. Everyone was murmuring almost amongst themselves. There isn't anyone who would take that dreadful announcement seriously, is there? Pandora voiced the question at the back of everyone's mind. Huh. How could one? It's just an awful jest. There's no way any one of us could commit such an act against one of our friends. Who said we were friends? Who knows? Maybe one of you is the puppet master running the shtick. This is turning out to be more interesting than that diffuse and electrocuting door puzzle. This ARG is fun. Lyle, what the hell are you talking about? Don't worry, I'll figure this puzzle out. If I'm not Lyle Determina, the ultimate puzzle master. Despite the horrifying announcement, Lyle left the atrium in almost giddy manner. There he goes. The rest of us remained unmoving in the atrium, as if the immense gravity of the situation kept weighing us down. No one said a word. Eyes were anxiously darting around the room to see who took the announcement seriously and who didn't. To think, this morning we were having a communal breakfast. The atmosphere was unbearably heavy. I stood there, in a cold sweat. I was dumbfounded. It was a killing game, specifically targeting ultimate students. It was selfish to think of this during the moment when all our lives were potentially in danger, but I really don't belong here.
Danganronpa.
Alright. That wasn't too bad. Hour and a half to do the freaking prologue, though. That was kind of annoying. Whatever. Well. I'm gonna call it there for right now. Maybe I'll come back later tonight. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But if I don't come back tonight, anyone who is here and is listening, I hope you guys have a nice night, and hope to see you guys again. Peace out now.